VBAC so badly? Is it that deep? Yes, it is that deep. Guys, surprisingly, we did not desire a home birth when we got pregnant.
I had to put on my compliance hats. What is the risk?
Yeah, Gabes was asking, how quick can we get to the hospital? What are the chances of the
I said to her, look, what is the worst case?
Yeah.
Tell me, I'm big enough.
What was some of the scaremongering that the hospital did in regards to the VBAC?
These are questions that they couldn't even answer.
Yeah.
So they're telling me that it's gonna rupture, but you haven't even had any cases
Yeah.
to show me that people are rupturing.
How did you prepare yourself mentally away from discouraging stats of black women and births and the risk of home birthing leading to complications? This is a very, very good question. Hey Deku fam!
Hey, Deku fam.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
We're back with another video, and in this video we're tackling all of your questions on the home birth that we had.
For those of you who don't know, we had a successful vaginal birth after C-section. What
Yep.
Anna did, I was there to support.
And he was the #1 support. He was so good.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the birth vlog, you need to check it out. My guy was really encouraging me.
And then we did a story time,
Yeah.
and in this video we're answering your questions. We've received questions from TikTok,
Yep.
Instagram, you guys on YouTube. So guys, let's get into this question. And babes, disclaimer, please. Short and sweet.
Says the one.
Short
Says
and-
the
short
one.
and sweet.
Who's the one that talks more in our videos as of recently?
Anyway,
Let's get into
short
the
and
video.
sweet.
Why did you want a VBAC so badly? Is it that deep? Yes, it is that deep. I wanted the VBAC so much because all of my pregnancies have been low risk. There have been no issues throughout my pregnancies apart from the usual symptoms. And actually, in my first labour, I dilated with Jerry.
Yeah.
I dilated to 8 centimetres. So my body was naturally doing what it was meant to do. And for it to end in the C-section, we just felt like that was the wrong
Yeah,
decision.
we really couldn't get our head around it.
Yeah.
So we felt like the C-section was unnecessary. So we did a bit of research and we explored going down a VBAC. And also in terms of the Caesarean, I do remember the recovery process. Literally from the moment we left the hospital and I was wheeling Anna out of the hospital, it was such a process that should have taken us like 5 minutes to walk to the car. It took us probably about half an hour because Anna was in so much pain. Every bump that we went over with the wheelchair, she was experiencing so much pain. She couldn't really carry Jerry for the first 2 weeks, which was very difficult for her. She couldn't do a lot of things during that initial period. And also...
It's abdominal surgery. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's actually surgery.
Yeah.
And you feel like you need surgery to solve a problem. And I don't think I had a problem that needed to be solved. So this time we're like, nope.
And also, in terms of the medication, like, you have to be so rigid with the medication.
Yeah.
And there was a period when Anna was like, oh, I'm feeling well. Just missed a medication. And the amount of pain she was feeling. And then after 2 weeks, the medication ran out because they only give you 2 weeks worth of medication because the medication is very addictive. Anna was like,
Give me some more!
I need some more.
It was so good. I mean, in terms of the feeling.
Yeah, so there was a small, like, kind of addiction that Anna was also getting to the medication. And it was just like, we wanted the VBAC.
Yeah, why would we put ourselves through that process again? What was the tipping point that made you want to pursue a home birth? Guys, surprisingly, we did not desire a home birth when we got pregnant. There was no way we were going to our appointment saying, yeah, we want a home birth, we want to have a home birth. But a series of conversations, decisions led to us having that home birth and actually strongly desiring it by the time we got to the point.
It started off with our doula.
Yeah.
Our doula was like, would you consider a home birth? We were like, nah.
No.
It's just
End of story.
But she did recommend that we go and look at a hospital that supports VBACs, helping mothers, you know, have a vaginal birth after C-section. We were like, yeah, we're willing to do that. I went to the hospital. Hospital was great. They had a VBAC team and everything.
So we moved to that hospital.
Exactly.
Then we're having a meeting with the head consultant midwife, talking through our birthing plan.
Fantastic.
She was so good. She understood our desires. We said, yeah, we want a VBAC. This was our previous birthing experience. There's no way we're having another C-section.
And then she looked us in the face and said, I think a home birth would be good for you. The main reason, which was a tipping point, was the fact of, yes, we wanted a vaginal birth, but we wanted it in the home from home or birthing suite. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, midwife-led suite.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because
where there's a pool and everything.
Because if we go to the labour hall, we know that they're going to come out with their sword. And we were not interested. So she said to us, there's a 50% chance that the birthing suite would be closed because, NHS underfunded, and then as soon as there's any kind of shortage of staff, they move everyone to the labour ward.
Yeah.
So she was like, I think you should have it at home.
And we were just like silent for 2 minutes at least. And then she gave us all the data, didn't she?
I had to put on my compliance hat. What is the risk?
Yeah. Gabe's asking, how quick can we get to the hospital? What are the chances of the
I said to her, look, what is the worst case?
Yeah.
Tell me. I'm big enough.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. How likely is she to die? If thing is rupturing, then how will you know? How will you find out? Who you send into the house? What are your death rates? What are your VBAC rates? What is this? What is that? And you know what? She's actually done a research paper on VBAC, and she was just like, I've got no doubt you can do this. It is an off-plan plan. Out of guidance plan, but we can do it. So you know what? We sat down, we thought about it, we took it away, we prayed about it, and we're like, we're doing this.
Now you have to explain what out of guidance means. Out of guidance basically means if anything happens, it's at your own risk.
Yeah.
We've told you everything, and therefore
no, because I'm now high risk because I've had a C-section before.
Yeah.
So their advice is for us to be on the labour ward, but we don't want to be on the labour ward. We're at home,
the tipping point.
Yeah, so we had to sign our life away.
The tipping point was the fact that the birthing suite would be
closed, and we don't want to take the risk of being in that labour ward with the doctors.
Then another point, we went to church the next day because now we're in the process of pondering. And we normally try and keep Jerry in the service as long as possible.
Look at you chatting now.
Okay, just relax. Okay, relax. And that was the one Sunday where Jerry was, going too much. He would just run up and down. I was like, you started to get a bit embarrassed. So I now go to the kids' room, chatting, and then small talk, how was your weekend, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we just went and had a labour ward, and we're now considering a home birth. And that guy was like, oh yeah, we had a home birth, my wife had a C-section, and da-da-da. And then
the exact same story.
1 hour, same experience as Anna. Then we're there with me and him, leave Jerry just to do a mess.
Yeah.
1 hour I'm talking to this guy about his wife's experience. Then his wife comes in, we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
After service, I start introducing them. And then next thing
it's just confirmation on the same week. So we were just obviously trying to be sensitive to the spirit. Like, what should we do?
Excuse me.
No, we were.
You were not being sensitive to no spirit.
We were. Okay, next question. What was some of the scaremongering that the hospital did in regards to the VBAC, and how did you navigate this?
What I realized is that everything was rooted in truth. So they will tell you something like you're at risk of your uterus rupturing.
Yeah.
They'll never tell you the percentages.
No.
They'll never tell you case studies.
Yeah.
So it was our job to press in and say, okay, if it's going to rupture, what is the percentage of it?
Yeah.
So we'll qualify, we'll ask questions.
Yeah, that's my skill, because I work in sales. You qualify further. You ask open questions, you ask specific questions sometimes, and you get to the root of it. So when they're saying, oh, you're at higher risk of your uterine rupture, and it's like, okay, so what is that increased risk? Like, what's that increased percentage? It's 0.05.
Can you give me case studies of that happening in your hospital when it's ruptured?
Yeah.
These are questions that they couldn't even answer.
Yeah.
You're there telling me that it's going to rupture, but you haven't even had any cases to show me that people are rupturing.
Yeah, and how will you know people are rupturing?
Sorry. Uterus are rupturing.
Yeah, and questions like, how will you know that is rupturing? Because actually they don't end up finding out until they're in the C-section itself. And actually when they cut you up, they realise that, oh, maybe it wasn't rupturing, or that's when they find out. So there's just so many questions, so many things to dig deeper
on. And what else did they used to say? Like, they were talking about hemorrhage and bleeding. They were talking about like pain relief. The pain relief was a fair point. So I actually say, look, you're going to be in pain. Is that okay? Yeah. I now had to qualify my wife just to let her know that there are going to be no drugs. You can't change your mind in the process. Are you okay? Because when the poo hits the fan, are you going to be okay?
Yeah. And they don't tell you all the positive stories. It's like they just focus so much on the risk. They don't tell you that actually you've got a higher chance of having a VBAC at home. Yeah. And actually a lot of things are rooted in their own fears that they don't like to manage.
They don't want to take on that risk.
Yeah, they don't want to take on that risk. They know they're going to be in trouble if something goes wrong and under investigation. And actually midwives are kind of scared of the OBs as well.
What else do they say? What else do they say? Like they're talking about hemorrhage in terms of like Anna bleeding out, etc. So ultimately I was also asking, if something did happen in the household, do you have a hotline to call the ambulance? They said yes, they do. They said on average the ambulance can get to you within 7 minutes. So I was like, okay, how long does it take for Anna to bleed out and die? They said you've got about 30 to 40 minutes. I was like, cool. How far is the hospital thing? Put that in Google Map, it's 10 minutes. So from the point in time when Anna starts bleeding out, I have 17 minutes to get there. I was like, we could play with 30 minutes. This is how our mind was going. We can get there in time. Worst case, we'll drive. And I can get there in 10 minutes.
Yeah. And they don't share any of the positive stories around home births and how highly successful they can be. And there's a lot of data around that. So we had to go on our own journey of really understanding that. 90% of births were done at home way back. And it's
Where'd
only...
you get that from?
I don't know, I can't remember, somewhere. But 90% of births were done in the home environment, and now it's like the other way around. And how that even came to happen was just... It's just crazy when you actually get into the detail.
Yeah.
And I think now that we've had a home birth, we ain't going back. How did you deal with the pain of the contractions while being at home? I don't even know, to be honest. But being at home and having done research about natural forms of pain relief.
We don't need...
Natural forms of pain relief.
We don't need research.
The shower, the tender machine.
How did you, Annabella, cope with the pain?
They're asking what techniques.
No, you.
What's your point?
No, like, you were in pain.
Yeah.
What did you do? Okay, so the first thing, you had your tension machine.
Yeah, which wasn't working as well as it did when I had Jeremiah. Okay.
And then,
what's your point? What are you trying to say?
No, it's like, how did you cope with the pain?
That's what I'm saying. Natural forms of pain relief.
Okay.
The shower, the pool was great for pain relief because of the heat of the pool. Didn't feel like it was progressing labour. What else? That's it. That's it. So you have to soldier it at home. And there was a gas and air machine, but no one gave it to me. No one gave it to me.
Anna, in terms of how did Anna cope with the pain, from my perspective, looking from an outside perspective, she coped with it very well. So I felt like you were very much in control when you were in the pain. You were screaming, but obviously you are an expressive person and you were in pain. Not going to take that away from you.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I felt like you were in control. There was not a minute where I felt like, you were losing it. So I think you did very well. You just kind of rode it through. You were complaining about how long is it going to take, but in terms of control, I think you gave everyone in the room confidence, which was fantastic.
I just didn't see any other option. The only way is to the end. There was no way I was going to hospital to go and get an epidural or anything like that. I just knew what the end
but you're saying
be.
that
I said I'm going to be holding my son soon.
You was not saying all of that.
In my head. I said it's going to be over soon. I can do this. In my head.
Are you sure?
How am I going to shout that out loud? Obviously, in my mind, I'm like, gosh.
I'm sure. Wait. We need to run the clips. I swear there's a moment in the video where you said, I don't want this. I don't know what to do with myself. You don't have to do anything for yourself.
I do so much better. Yeah, I don't want the pain.
Yeah, but when you're saying I'm going to be holding my son and...
Yeah? What, you think I'm going to be singing that from where?
I never heard that once.
Why would I say it? Why would I say it?
You were in pain.
Of course I was in pain.
You were in control, but you were in pain.
It was a lot of pain. I think that's clear from the video.
Yes, very
that's
much
very
so.
Clear.
But I just found it interesting. What? Now you're talking about the joy of your son was riding you through.
How did I manage it?
I didn't experience
that.
How
did I manage it?
you managed it well.
No, but how did I manage it? Why did I not say, let's go to the hospital?
Because we were at home.
But I couldn't.
Well, the contractions were so frequent that you couldn't even step. You weren't even anyway. You did well, but let's not.
Gabes, watching your birth was honestly exhilarating. Wow, nice word. I teared up from beginning to end. After a C-section, how did it feel to give birth vaginally?
Was that a nice release?
I don't know how it felt in that moment anymore. The moment is gone, like absolutely gone.
That's
and sorry, I can't help. But I think we reflected on it when we were lying in bed, like, wow, we actually did this. We had the vaginal birth after a C-section.
No, but how did it feel like Kay coming out?
What? That burn?
So there was a ring of fire.
Yeah, that burn.
I remember
and then he just slid out after that.
And then that slide.
Yeah.
Was that like a he's out kind of?
I don't know. You can't process it. I don't process that.
No, but okay. What about like a minute later or 30 seconds later, where there was no more contractions happening? How did that feel?
It's just gone. The pain's gone. That's it. You
but
go from intense pain to no pain, and you're now transitioning to like, oh, there's a baby here. Oh, what's his gender? Oh, is everything okay?
Okay.
How was your third stage of labour, placenta delivery, etc.? Also, any tears, bleeding? As soon as Kay came out, I was bleeding quite a bit.
They thought you were bleeding quite a bit.
Yeah. They weren't sure whether it was like a sign that something's wrong or whatever. But after further investigation, they realised it was blood mixed with urine, mixed with more water breaking. So that all happened. But eventually able to deliver the placenta well, wasn't I?
Yeah, I was at the foot of Anna. and I saw the placenta coming out, and it was a big placenta, but it was such a very interesting process. I thought it was like, wow, like this thing has been keeping my son alive inside of you, and it just slid out.
Yeah.
I just thought that was just very interesting.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Like, but it was beautiful in its own way.
Yeah, and then they wanted to check how much I tore, and they did their thing down there, and they found out that I got a 2nd degree tear, which was fine by me. I mean, 3rd degree would have been much worse, but it definitely wasn't a 3rd degree tear.
2nd degree, so it was a 2nd degree, but it was still a minor tear that didn't require stitching.
Another thing, where if you're in the hospital, potentially, they might decide to sew you up for a 2nd degree tear, but I'm glad that we went through a natural home birth process where they said it would heal naturally after a week or so, and that did definitely happen.
But then it was still very uncomfortable for about a week.
Yeah, the recovery on the tear bit was quite challenging, but still I was up and about, active and so forth. Just had to be careful in terms of movement of my legs. But
then we had the midwives come over, check you out and everything was in order, so we were all good.
3rd stage of labour was actually very sweet and smooth. Within about half an hour we were in bed and lying there as a family of 4. What was your birthing experience like, having had a C-section and then a VBAC? I think obviously in the moment a vaginal birth hurts a lot more because you're going through a process and you're not numbed in that area, so much harder from a delivery perspective. But from a recovery perspective, my goodness, you feel great straight afterwards. You recover within pretty much a few days. I went on my first walk within 3 days or 2 days.
We gave birth to Kay on Wednesday. I think we were in church on the Sunday.
Yeah, so I was active out and about, and my body felt back to normal within a week. So yeah, the recovery is where all the difference is made, to be honest. And actually in terms of like my body getting back to its original condition and like losing the stomach, I feel like that was quicker as well with after a natural delivery.
Yeah, you just felt better,
mentally, physically, everything.
And I feel like you spent more time with Kay than you did with Jerry, because Jerry was just difficult for you to navigate everything. So myself and our mums were helping a lot with Jerry.
How did you prepare yourself mentally away from the discouraging stats of black women and births and the risk of home birthing leading to complications? This is a very, very good question. And that's why we went deep into the data before we agreed to do the home birth, and we knew what we were getting ourselves into. Yeah, and that's why we got a doula. We wanted to put ourselves in the best position. With a doula, you have to pay for them privately, and we said, yep, this is something that's worthwhile doing, but you don't necessarily have to have a doula in order to have a home birth if you're going to look into the data yourself.
If you know the amount of hours of videos that we were watching on YouTube, just understanding the process, understanding other people's experiences. There's some very good resources out there. Like one, Built to Birth, she's very good. And you watched, I don't know the name of the other, but that one was probably the best one for us. And she was really good. We also previously did a hypnobirthing course, which was fantastic. I signed up Anna for yoga, which is also good to prepare her and to relax her into the process and for her to do stretches.
And actually, these stats around black women and us having less positive experiences is partially due to the hospitals and how you're treated in the hospitals because of how you look and because you are different. So actually, being in your home environment,
there's a perception that black women
are stronger
and they can handle the pain more, etc.
And our concerns not being taken seriously and things like that. And that's what happens when you don't have a continuity of care. Like when you have a different doctor who's coming in, they make all their assumptions on the day, and we just didn't want to leave it up to all of those risks. Actually, when you have a home birth, you'll have the same home birthing team from your first appointment.
So
they got to know us. You get to build a relationship with them. They know what your desires are. You can discern whether this is the type of person that you want to actually support you in your birth from before the actual birth. I just feel like when you're in a hospital, sometimes you're leaving a lot of things up to chance. You're luck of the draw. If you get a good doctor who believes in the type of birth that you want, good. If you don't, then you're kind of on a different path. But when you're actually planning for a home birth, it's a very much a continuity of care, and you can make a lot of decisions before you're in the moment. So that was really important to me, especially as a black woman. And actually, the head of the home birthing team is a mixed race woman. She understands black experiences. So all of that added to the reason why a home birth was the best choice for us, and I wasn't as concerned as a black woman. How did you communicate with your family about coming along with you on the journey of the home birth? Did you keep your home birth away from these family members to reduce the fear they may pass on to you?
To be honest, we are very blessed by our family. They're very supportive. They don't shy away from giving us their opinions.
Yep.
We also ask for their opinion just to see if we missed anything.
Yeah.
But they also trust us. Once we make a decision, they just come right behind us,
Yeah.
and then they support us. So yes, initially it was more like, why are you having a home birth? The risk. But as soon as we laid out the facts, we spoke it through with them, they were fully supportive.
But that's not to say that they weren't worrying in the lead up to the process. Like sometimes that is also pressure with them just worrying and, you know, having their concerns and they're saying you're crazy and all of this type of stuff. So
Who called you crazy?
no, the family, just like you're wild, like us two. They know us though. They know we're going to do what we want to do, but they do think that we're crazy in terms of some of the decisions that we make because we don't follow.
And then we
the
always
status
get
quo.
you and your God.
Yeah,
so good.
at the end afterwards,
You
like
and your
wow. But where were you? Where were you? No, I'm
Anyway,
joking,
back
no.
to the point.
But they were with us on the journey. They got behind us, and we did keep it quite small in terms of who we told that we're having a home birth because we just can't be bothered with certain people's opinions.
You were chatting, fam.
I was chatting.
You were chatting.
Was I?
Yeah,
No,
you
but
were
not
chatting.
online. I didn't say like.
Oh,
we're
not
planning
online,
for a
not
home
online.
birth.
But
Like,
if people ask, like, what are we doing? What hospital?
Yeah.
You would tell them.
yeah.
But to be fair, I think we're also quite tough-skinned in terms of taking on people's opinions. Once we make a decision, that's the decision that we're making, and we're following through. And we don't have to prove things to people in the process. Like, I remember telling a colleague that we're having a home birth. He just started telling me some random story about someone who died. And I was like, okay, cool. That was the experience that they had, but I believe that we can potentially go through with the experience that we have. We're trusted Anna's body, knowing that she can do this, and just having an inner confidence to ride it through. Our family were supportive, and we didn't plan to not tell them about us going into labor. That just happened by chance.
Yeah.
This is one of the first times where the three of us, me, Anna, and Jerry, were home alone with no one there.
Never
so
happened.
we were like,
let's just go with it.
is this a sign from the Lord?
Oh yeah, spiritual. You spiritualizing it. Over spiritualizing. No, but it was a God thing.
Yeah.
It was that no one was in the house.
So it was just nice as well for them that they won't worry in the moment. Because if we had told them, hey, we're going into labor, it's our first time doing it at home, they might be worrying in the process. And that could be an added pressure on you, I don't know.
But I think for each person, they should know themselves and know their family. If you're the type of person who can't take the pressure of people questioning your decisions and it's actually going to make you more anxious during pregnancy, then don't tell people. Keep it between yourselves and then tell them after the fact. We just knew ourselves that no one can deter us from a decision that we've made based on evidence, prayer, all of that type of stuff. So it was fine for us, but may not be fine for you. I'm curious to know, given how close you are to your family, why they were not present for the home birth.
One, we had so many people in the room. Like, we had a doula, we had 2 midwives, and then there was me in the room.
And then Jerry as well.
Jerry wouldn't have been there. But to include, like, Anna's mom or my mom, etc., that would just be maybe too much. But it wasn't the plan, again, to not tell them. It just happened that way, and we just thought it was a good thing.
Yeah. Because things progressed so quickly. Like, I picked Gabes from the station. We went to pick up Jerry from nursery. We came home and we're like, oh, we were a bit in disbelief because the baby's coming 9 days early. And we're like, what? Are these contractions really here? Are they happening? And then the fact that no one was in the house, we just thought, oh, okay, let's just go with this. And then next 4-5 hours later, the baby's here. So it kind of progressed in that way, and we did that. But thanks for noticing that our family's so close. You're right. Normally they are right here all the time.
Eating jollof and watching the birds.
They'll be right there, literally, with their popcorn. But if they could have been. And you can see how fast they got here, given their reaction, that, they're the type of family that would be here if they could.
Yeah, definitely.
How was the water birth experience? Honestly, when you think home birth, you think water birth. And that was the experience that I was hoping
Can you
to
say,
have.
how was your toilet experience?
God humbles, because honestly, like, the toilet, really, no. Because you were meant to catch the baby in the water. Like, we would run in to get the pool in time, just in case baby did come early. Like, the pool was meant to be the central part. We had pictures on the walls. It was a great environment in the office.
But you wasn't doing what you were told.
Clearly, the Lord wants me to give birth in the toilet. Would you be able to do it, my love?
Look, we will never know.
Yeah, but the way you're talking, the energy that you're bringing.
I know, but we will never know.
The energy. Anyway, but the water was fantastic for pain relief. If I could have given birth in the pool, I would have loved to. But for me, it didn't give me the support that I needed. It was just to go with the flow, that water. And I'm not actually a water person in general.
No, you can't swim properly.
I can swim. I can swim, but I can swim properly, but I just don't like the water like that. So I don't know why. I think it's because all the home births I've seen online, they were in water and it was
But
just
if you knew you were
beautiful.
going to give birth in the toilet, would you have opted for the toilet straight away?
No, I would have still fought for that pool, boy.
Exactly.
I did not want to. But yeah, the toilet was actually fantastic. I would advise people to just get on the toilet straight away. You never know what could happen. But yeah, the water experience is nice. It's a very warm water as well. Jerry wants to jump in himself. He loves the water.
Another question then, just to put it out there. How did we get the birth pool?
Oh,
because
yeah.
it can be really expensive.
Oh, it was part of a council. So a lot of the councils have a home birthing unit or team or people who have taken ownership of that. So actually, the councils within our area, 2 of the local councils, have this birthing pool.
Basically, you're taking too long. They have 6. The council that we were with have about 6 or 8 pools that are in rotation.
It's not 6 or 8.
Is it more?
It's 2.
Oh, is it 2?
Yeah.
Wow. They have 2 pools and it's in rotation. So it's basically, you tell them your due date, they tell you the last family that had it, and then you just go and collect it and then use it. You clean it up, but obviously there's a liner that goes in the pool. So it's like, obviously you're not all mixing everyone's placenta in the pool and all the fluids, etc. So it's quite hygienic. So we bought so we got the pool for free. And then we paid maybe 40 quid for the liner to go inside. And then...
But honestly, the home birthing community is a different world. You'd be surprised how many resources there are when you start to go on the journey. So speaking to your hospital, they will tell you about the local council,
charities as well.
Local charities. And then I've already passed the pool on to another family, and then you have a quick conversation about how was your experience. You know, some of them did end up in the hospital, but they still have a natural birth. All of this type of stuff is just a great little community. And actually, to have a home birth, you are supported by your local NHS. I think there was a question about, do you have to pay for a home birth? Is this private? We didn't do it privately, no. The only thing that was private was booking the doula, which we paid for ourselves. But actually, the NHS do support home births. And if you tell them that you want a home birth, they have to support you. The only issue is you want to be aligned to a hospital that are good at doing home births.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks.
Anything else?
No, that's it. We're done. I'm going to end on that high. But yeah, Deku fam, that's the end of our home birthing or birthing series. We've been really excited to take you on the journey. As you can tell, we are so grateful, so blessed that we're able to have our vaginal birth after a C-section, let alone having our baby at home. And we just hope that, not everyone will have the financial provision to book a doula. Not everyone will be able to, investigate, look at the data the way that we did. But we wanted to share this series so that you can have what you need through going through our channel, through going on our website. We've got loads of articles, through downloading our birthing plan. We want to provide that to you because we are willing to do the work so that you don't necessarily have to, so that you can get the outcome that you need, because it's so important.
Politics.
So many people, so many women are really suffering and are upset because of the trauma that they had through having their C-sections. And I just wanted to show you that it is possible for an ordinary lady like you, like me, like all of us. We can have our vaginal births. We just have to defy the odds. We have to take control of our births. These doctors don't necessarily know what's best. These health professionals don't necessarily know what's best. You know your body. You know what you can do. So
Mothers
let's
are
do
in
it.
control.
Yeah, we are the owners of births. We know what our body can tell us whether something's going wrong or something's not. Take ownership, and guys,
trust your body.
Trust your body because you are built to birth.
Wow.
Thank you, fam. We will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.